Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Virginia City Council meeting. I will call this meeting to order at 5:30 p.m. Today's date is Tuesday, September 10th, 2019. Welcome everybody who's in the audience and those who are scheduled to speak this evening, and welcome to all of those of you who are listening at home. We have a full agenda tonight, and hopefully we'll get through it as quickly as we can and as efficiently as we can. Chris. I knew I was going to say that. Chris, would you please take the roll call? Thank you.
Councillor Baraboo?
Present.
Councillor Friedlieb? Councillor Paulson?
Here.
Councillor Beyondich?
Present.
Councillor Johnson?
Here.
Councillor Barnzelli?
Here.
And Mayor Cuffey.
Here, thank you. Would everyone please stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, thank you. We'll move to item 4 on the agenda, which is the public forum. Those who are not scheduled to speak this evening, this is your opportunity to come before the City Council, ask questions or make a statement or provide any information you wish to do so. So at this point in time, I would ask anybody from the audience if they could come and speak before the council this evening. Seeing none, we'll move to item 5, which is the consent agenda. The following items will be enacted by one motion unless a councilor or the citizen of the City of Virginia requests that the items be considered separately. Item 5.1 is the approval of corrections of the minutes of the regular meeting that was held on August 27th, 2019. Item 5.2, adoption of Finance Resolution number 19-017, the schedule of bills. Item 5.3, approve pay estimate number 2 for the Midway Drive improvements to Casper Construction in the amount of $176,831.39. Item 5.4, approve the pay estimate number 2 for the 12th Avenue improvements to Masaba Bituminous in the amount of $249,991.03. Item 5.5, approve the Sunday liquor license for Polly's LLC, doing business as Polly G's. 5.6, approve the following travel requests, which are budgeted items. 5.6A, the Fire Department, Chief Alan Lewis, to attend the Rural Emergency Management Services Leadership Course, September 6th through the 7th, 2019, in Alexandria, Minnesota, at a cost of $475. Item 5.6A2, John Carlson from the Fire Department to attend the Tactical EMS Emergency Medical Services Tactical Training September 22nd through the 27th at Camp Ripley at a cost of $174.96. And 5.6A3, Tiffany Larson and Lisa Hanover from the Fire Department EMS to attend the Pulse Check Leadership Summit September 25th and 26th, 2019 in St. Paul at a cost of $438 each. Item 5.6B, approve the council and administration to attend the 2019 League of Minnesota Cities regional meeting on October 3rd, 2019 in Chisholm at a cost of $55 each plus mileage. And finally, item 5.6C, Mayor Larry Cuffey Jr. to attend the International Association of Chiefs of Police Conference for the purposes of representing the city regarding the award being given to K-9 Officer Nick Grivna at this convention in Chicago, Illinois, October 26th to the 27th, 2019, at a cost of $807.02. These are the consent agenda items that are on the agenda today, and I'm looking for a motion from the council.
I would make a motion to accept the consent agenda as listed and spoken.
Thank you. Motion by Councilor Freelieb to approve the consent agenda as presented and supported by Councilor Baraboo. Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Item 6 on the agenda, which is appearances. Item 6.1, we welcome Tucker Carlson, the manager of the Virginia Area Historical Society, to come forward and give us a presentation. Mr. Nelson, would you please come forward? State your name for the record and welcome to the City Council this evening.
Thank you. Tucker Nelson.
I apologize for that, Tucker. Why, how many times have I said that? A lot.
A few, it's okay.
Several times, so I
I'm
apologize.
already over it.
Well, I apologize. Thank you for reminding me. It's like Maxwell's silver hammer from the Beatles. I got to knock me in the head before I recall sometimes. So once again, I apologize.
That's okay.
Thank you.
Well, good afternoon, Mayor Cuffey, city councilors, and city staff. I know several of you know me, but for those of you who don't, I'm Tucker Nelson. I'm the new museum manager for the Virginia Area Historical Society. And I'm from Eveleth, but don't hold that against me. I'm a proud graduate of Virginia High School, and I'm happy to be helping to preserve and share Virginia's history with the public. I don't want to take up too much of your time, but I wanted to introduce myself and answer any questions you may have. I'm fairly new. This will be my third week at the museum, but I did fill in for a month this spring while my predecessor, Jill Aubin, was on vacation, and they liked me enough that they wanted to keep me there permanently, and it's going well so far. The Historical Society had a successful Fall Fest last Friday, which was our annual picnic fundraiser, and now I'll have a little more time to work on some more projects. I'm building a new website, which we should be launching fairly soon. That will be virginiamnhistory.com. We're working on some new signage at our museum buildings, and I would like to speak with Mr. Silver soon about some more signage in Alcott Park. And another priority I have is to work on a plan to improve our collections cataloging and storage. And as always, having our museum accessible, open to the public for our exhibits. We have a new railroad exhibit that's temporary that should be up through about next spring. And our permanent exhibits talk about logging and sawmills, the Virginia fires of 1893 and 1900, and the Mesaba Electric Railway, which was the old streetcar line. And we also have a former tourist cabin that was in Virginia and a log house that was moved from the Brit area. So I'd love to see all of you at the museum sometime. We're open from 11 to 4 Wednesday through Saturday until October, and then we go to our winter hours, which are Thursday through Saturday. And I'd also like to thank the city for allowing us to use the former park superintendent's home. We're very grateful for that. We like the building, and it's worked out fairly well. And we have some great things going on there. And there are always more possibilities and more things to work on. If any of you have any questions, I will try to answer them.
I would have one before we go to the council. I just want to say thank you for your perseverance and for your dedication and for your commitment to move this forward and opening this up for all to be a part of seeing that historical society. For those who haven't been there, it's a phenomenal cataloging of the history of the city of Virginia. I think we have an obligation either as a citizens group or as a city of Virginia or some kind of collaborative with you at the helm to try to make some opportunities to expand that so you have more space and more room to put more things in there for the history of Virginia. So we thank you for doing that and we wish you all the very best, Tucker. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Councilor Johnson.
Thank you, Mayor. I too want to echo what the mayor said. I've known you for a little while, and I think you are a perfect fit for our communities in general. I appreciate that you're from Eveleth because it gives you a different little different perspective, but I look forward to what you're going to be able to do for the Historical Society as well as for the community in general, and I look forward to those partnerships with the Greenhouse and with Parks and Rec and any number of other organizations. So thank you for coming in tonight.
Welcome. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Johnson. Anyone else have a comment they'd like to make before we move on to the next agenda item? Councilor Freely.
Just a quick anecdotal incident. My sisters, who are a year older than I, moved away from Virginia about 43 years ago and returned a couple years ago and wanted to stop in at the park and happened into the historical museum that you have there, and they were paging through things and looking through stuff and came upon a picture of themselves actually playing their clarinets from a picture in the paper from years back when they were in high school, and they were just thrilled about the fact that they've been captured in the historical documentation at that place. So that's kind of cool from a personal perspective.
Thank you, Councilor Freely. Councilor Bearable.
Tucker, I've known you for quite some time here. I happen to have my son give me former counselor logbook from way back in the early 1900s. Some of it's in handwritten stuff along with newspaper things of the old ordinances and stuff. So he just presented that. A friend of his had it, and he gave it to me. So I will be bringing it up to your historical society for some future things. I can't remember the counselor's name at this time, but a lot of it is hand in there, but a lot of it is actual ordinances that were pasted in.
That would be great. And we do, of course, collect photographs and documents and things, and I'd be happy to help with research. Maybe, I'm sure we might have a picture of one of you somewhere, so you might be preserved in history.
Thank you very much. Anybody else have anything? Counselor Beyondich?
Thank you for also stepping into the big shoes at the Historical Society. And it's interesting, when we opened our business, we went there for photographs of downtown Virginia and the lakes. And people were very surprised to know they could go there to find photographs and have them copied for their own use. So I will be stopping up to see you, and I'm just excited that you're there. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Anyone else? Mr. Nelson, thank you very much. We look forward to working with you in the future, and we're open door policy. Have any questions or concerns? Of course, our Park and Rec Commissioner, Director Brian Silber, is a very accessible individual, doing some good things for Park and Rec. So we look forward to working with you in the months and years to come.
Thank you, and feel free to contact me, or even better, stop into the museum. And one more thing I'd like to add. I'm grateful to my predecessors, Jill Aubin and Betty Pond. Betty was at the museum for, I believe, 20 years, and so she leaves some big shoes to fill for a little lady, and we have a great board of directors, so it's a big team, and we're all happy to help wherever we can. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Thank you. Have a nice evening. Appreciate it. Thank you very much. Okay, move to item 7, unfinished business. Item 7.1 is to approve the second reading of the draft for the Public Improvement and Special Assessment Policy. This is the second reading for approval at tonight's council meeting. Unless anybody has any questions or comments regarding this, I'm looking for a motion.
Also move, Mayor.
Moved by Councilor Baraboo and supported by Councilor Johnson. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Excuse me. Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Item 7.2, approve the second reading of the proposed draft of the stormwater utility ordinance. Moved by Councilor Freely to approve the second reading. Is there support? Support by Councilor Paulson. Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Item 7.3. We'll need some clarification on this. If we may, Britt, if you have any information more than that, request from Michelle Walter and Jamie Winger to waive the fee for the Miners South Room to hold a Thanksgiving dinner on Thursday, November 28th, 2019. And what is Thanksgiving dinner for?
The community, it's a free will dinner, free will offering dinner at the Miners on Thanksgiving Day.
Thank you.
From 1 to 5 or until food runs out. And so they're asking,
Okay, they're asking to waive the fee to hold this Thanksgiving dinner, which is open to the public from Thursday, November 28th, Thanksgiving Day 2019, from 1 to 5 or until the food is gone.
that's right.
Very good, thank you. Councilor Johnson.
I would move the waiving of the fees for this Thanksgiving community dinner.
Thank you. Moved by Councilor Johnson. Is there support? Support by Councilor Baraboo. Is there any further discussion? I just think it's a great gesture on the part of these people to put this on for everyone. It's heartwarming when people in this community can come together and do something for people in need. So it's great. Okay, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Item 8, discussion items. Item 8.1, adopt a resolution approving the hire of Mike Wallace for the dual role firefighter EMT position. Councilor Barnzelli makes a motion to approve that hiring. Is there support? Support by Counselor Johnson and support by Counselor Freely, but everybody else, I'm sure. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Item 8.2, adopt a resolution accepting the donation from the Virginia Elks Lodge number 1003 for the Alcott Park Fountain Restoration Fund. Moved by Counselor Barnzelli to approve the acceptance of the donation by the Elks Club. Is there support?
Support.
Support by Counselor Paulson. Is there any further discussion? Counselor Johnson.
Does this go into the foundation then, or is this a
The
different type?
resolution states it's going to go into the Alcott Fountain Restoration Fund that we set up.
Okay, oh, where the money from the change is
The
going?
change money.
Okay,
Yep.
thank you, I
Yep.
appreciate the
It'll be in the maintenance
clarification.
fund, yes, thank you. I think that's what, when we approved that at the Elks Board of Directors meeting, we made sure that was designated there. So thank you for the clarification and the question, Counselor Johnson. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Item 8.3, approve the request to close the 100 block of 3rd Avenue North for the Bridge Days celebration, which is going to take place on Saturday, September 14th, 2019.
I'll move to approve.
Moved by Counselor Paulson to approve. Is there support? Support by Counselor Beyondich. Is there any further discussion? Counselor Barnzelli.
What, didn't they have this last year at the same time? They blocked that street?
We did. We had a street show at 218, and we're doing the same thing again on Saturday.
Yep. Thank you.
Yep, thank you. It starts at 3:30 this year, the street show.
Okay, thank you. All right. Moved and supported. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Last item under discussion was item 8.4 is to adopt a resolution to make application and to accept funds from the IRRB Residential Redevelopment Grant Program for the property demolition of 12th Street South and First Avenue. Motion by Counselor Freely to approve. Is there support?
For discussion,
Support by Counselor Johnson for discussion. Further discussion, Counselor Johnson.
can we have more clarification of what the property is?
Britt?
Both of them.
12th Street South and First Avenue.
Must be a house because it's a residential development program.
Yeah, it's the last house, right on, almost on Railroad Avenue.
Railroad Avenue.
Is
Railroad
it
Avenue.
connected to where there was an old creamery? There's some, is it that whole portion? I'm familiar with this. I used to live on that block, and there's, if it is, there's like an old garage that's back there. Is it
That's
that?
probably why it doesn't have an address, because it's attached to
Okay,
the old creamery. So
okay.
And the motion is to make application,
Make the
accept
grant.
funds for
Okay,
this.
yes,
But
absolutely.
thank you for the
Thank you.
clarification, Counselor Johnson. Been moved and supported. Is there further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Move to item 9, committee reports. Item 9.1 is the committee of the whole meeting that was held on Tuesday, September 3rd, 2019, and we'll turn this portion of the city council meeting over to our city administrator, Britt C. Bendis. Britt?
Thank you. At the committee of the whole meeting on Tuesday, September 3rd, Mr. Matt Reeder from our contract engineer from SEH reviewed a request from Asaba Bituminous for an extension on the 12th Avenue West reconstruction project. Substantial completion date was supposed to be August 23rd, 2019, but the job wasn't completed. They had asked for an extension to September 6th, 2019. We did note, though, that by extending the extension, we did waive our ability to collect penalties for being late. It was moved and supported to deny the request from Asaba Bituminous to extend the substantial completion date to September 6, 2019 for the 12th Avenue West Improvements Project.
Do I have a motion?
I'll move to deny the request.
Moved by Councilor Paulson to deny the request as proposed at the committee of the whole meeting and supported by Councilor Johnson. Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you.
Because that project has gone over, there was additional request for additional contract services for engineering services for the 12th Avenue project. It was moved and supported to approve the amendment to the original contract for engineering services on the 12th Avenue West project in the amount of not to exceed $14,780. With the caveat, we will submit the separate invoice to the city council for the review of the additional cost incurred with the hopes that we can recoup that money from the contractor.
Thank you. Moved by Counselor Johnson. Is there support? Support by Counselor Freely. Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
We had a presentation from Amoresco regarding the details of the energy audit that they have completed in the city. They have a proposed program that would be a $2.4 million program with a city capital contribution of $225,000. It would be divided over a contract term of 20 years. Amoresco has estimated that there'd be a 21% savings in utility costs if we were to complete the $2.4 million program. The improvements they addressed include LED lighting in facilities, LED street lighting, building envelope improvements, as well as HVAC control upgrades and implementation of a solar PV. New fixtures or retrofit kits would be used for interior facilities and for exterior lighting. The buildings that will be upgraded were discussed regarding the energy saving cost. It was moved and supported to authorize staff to work with the VPUC and Amoresco on the proposed improvements as shown in Plan A and B, which is $2.4 million and requires a $225,000 city capital contribution for energy upgrades within the city.
Would move that we direct staff to work accordingly for energy upgrades that will save the city money long-term.
Moved by Counselor Johnson. Is there support? Support by Counselor Barnzelli. Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
It was moved and supported to approve the payment of the 2020 dues for the League of Minnesota Cities in the amount of $8,554.
Also move.
Move for approval of that payment to the League of Minnesota Cities by Counselor Bearable. Is there support? Support by Counselor Johnson. Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you.
We had received a request at the Committee of the Whole meeting from CDBG, which is the Community Development Block Grant Program from St. Louis County, to approve a HUD amendment to the Community Development Block Grant. The council discussed at that meeting on Tuesday with St. Louis, the program, CDBG funding versus Small Cities Program. At this time, I would like to ask that we do approve that amendment, that the council considers. We didn't take action at the meeting, but I'd like to ask that we take action today for the city to approve the HUD amendment for the CDBG program.
Thank you.
We'll move that we support the amendment with HUD with the understanding that we will be discussing this further in the future about CBDG.
Thank you. Moved by Counselor Johnson.
I'll
There's
support.
Support by Counselor Bearable. Further discussion? I think, well, we'll just wait. Yeah, thank you. Okay, further discussion, none. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you. Unfortunately, they were on a very tight timeline and they didn't get the information to us in a very timely manner. So I appreciate that. It was moved and supported to invite the Community Development Block Grant staff to the council meeting today. They are not able to attend, but we will reschedule them for another date.
Thank you.
Thank you. It was moved and supported to approve the application and acceptance of funds from the IRRB EDA Partnership Pilot Program, and this would be for our Downtown Redevelopment Grant Program.
And this is the $250,000 pilot program that we have for downtown revitalization?
That is correct.
Thank you. Do I have a motion from the
Also
council? Moved by Counselor Bearable to move forward with the pilot, to adopt the pilot program and grant applications, accept funds from the IRRB EDA Partnership Pilot Program for downtown revitalization, the amount of $250,000. Is there support?
I would support, just quick for discussion.
Sure, support by Counselor Freely. Further discussion? Counselor Freely.
Does it require any matching monies from the city to do so, or no?
The VITA levy, the VITA budget has approved doing a bond sale for $300,000 as part of the grant program.
Okay.
That will be the matching funds.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
It was moved and supported to receive and file the communication from St. Louis County regarding the proposed sale of state tax forfeited lands known as 0900010-14520 and 0900126-00100. No motion needed. And it was further moved and moved and supported to receive and file the notice of St. Louis County's timber sale within the city boundaries. You may have noticed that they're logging on 135 near Borgen Road, and they had to file a notification with the city. The city entered into a closed meeting at 10:37 to discuss the purchase of some property. It was moved and supported during the open portion of the session to direct city staff to obtain information on securing additional appraisals for the city-owned property in Progress Park, which is along Highway 53, and to contact the school, ISD 706, regarding their timeline on the new school project.
Motion? Motion by Counselor Bonzelli to approve, direct staff to move forward. Is there support for that? Support by Counselor Freely. Is there any further discussion?
Mayor, I'd like to state
Yes.
that I did meet with them today.
Yes.
And I did express to them what our concerns were and that we wanted a timeline and an update, and they are getting back to me by the end of this week with when they can come to
Very
talk
good.
to us.
Thank you, Britt.
Thank you.
Further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
And then additionally, it was moved and supported to set a special meeting for Tuesday, September 10th at 4 PM for further dialogue on our lease with Essentia, which we held today at 4 PM.
So formally, we don't need a motion to do that.
We don't need a motion. for that,
No.
Thank you.
Thank
That is
you.
all I have from that meeting.
Very good, thank you. Okay. Anything else, Britt? Okay, thank you. Move to item 10 on the agenda, which is the commission liaison and department head reports. We'll start with the council. Does any city councilor have a report they'd like to give this evening for the city council, for the general public? See, Councilor Johnson.
Thank you, Mayor.
Yes.
September is Suicide Prevention Awareness Month, and today, September 10th, 2019, is World Suicide Prevention Awareness Day. According to the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention, suicide is the 10th leading cause of death in the United States. In Minnesota, suicide is the 8th leading overall cause of death. However, when that data is broken down by age group, suicide becomes the 4th leading cause of death for those ages 45 to 54, the 3rd leading cause of death for those aged 35 to 44, and the 2nd leading cause of death for those 15 to 34. 9 times as many people died by suicide in 2017 than in alcohol-related motor vehicle accidents in the state of Minnesota. Every single one of us has heard of or knows a person that has died by suicide. Suicide has impact on families and friends. There is also an impact on the community as a whole. The individuals that have died by suicide leave a blank where they have been. There's a missing piece at work, at the grocery stores, at a sporting event, in the theater, an individual space that cannot be filled. There's an impact as suicide loss survivors wonder, what happened? What could I have done differently? What did I miss? Suicide is very personal to me. I have done my best to support those closest to me when death by suicide destroyed their world twice in a very short time. I have no answers for when the young people ask me why. I feel inadequate when siblings look for support, when they miss that phone call that came every evening, when the parent has no birthday to celebrate, when social media reminds them on a daily basis of the chasm left in their lives. I am only able to reaffirm my love for that person. I also struggle as I support those in my life that have suggested or attempted suicide. It is a real concern for me every day. Did I miss one of those signs? Am I being a caring and compassionate person for that? Maybe that can be that little glimmer of hope that someone needs. I work with 100 individuals every day that fall in the category from 15 to 34. Am I doing enough to show those folks that they have value and worth? Right now, I'll refer to something called the QPR suicide prevention approach, and I'll summarize it briefly. The QPR is an approach on how to speak to someone about their possible suicide thoughts. It is not intended to be a form of counseling or treatment. Instead, it means to offer hope through positive action. If in doubt, don't wait. Ask the questions, and I'll give you some of those as we're going through. Talk to the person in a quiet, private setting. Ask if the person needs an interpreter, and allow them to speak freely. The Q is for question. How you ask is less important than actually asking. Ask things like, I am concerned about you. Are you having any thoughts of not wanting to live? Are you okay? Have you been unhappy lately? Have you been so unhappy that you've thought about taking your life? If the person responds no, let them know you care and are willing to listen when needed. Offer resources. If they say yes to any of them, don't judge. Give them your full attention. Tell them more, ask them to tell you more about your thoughts. How long have they felt this way? How have you thought about how you might take your life? And if the answer is yes, do you have any intent on carrying it on? After listening, say, your safety is utmost important to me. Where will you go to get help? Let me help you get there. I am on your side. We will get through this. It is important to be safe. There is a solution to every problem. And the R is refer. Notify school staff, a family member, a friend, or anybody about the concerns. Ask for a number of support person and call them. Get a commitment from the person to accept help. Give the person referral information or make them call and seek resources. Follow up with that person and support them to make sure they're okay. Suicide Prevention Awareness Month is a time to share about suicide. Suicide, like mental health, has been a taboo subject for far too long. It is important that we make it okay to talk about mental health and to reach out to those who have been affected by suicide, whether it be thoughts of death by suicide, attempts of death by suicide, or those left after a death by suicide. It is imperative that individuals, families, friends, and communities in need have access to resources to be able to discuss suicide. The National Suicide Prevention Lifeline is 1-800-273-8255. 1-800-273-8255. Locally, you can do a web search for thriverange.org. That's the words thriverange.org, and find immediate links for help. And finally, starting on Monday, September 16th, 2019, the City of Virginia will have a link on its main page, left side under the city resource heading that will bring you to a page of resources for mental health and suicide help. Please don't wait until it's too late. Educate yourself about mental health and suicide prevention, and I would strongly encourage and challenge other local government entities to put this resource on their main page so when people are looking for help, they can find it immediately. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Councilor Johnson. Okay, anybody else have anything they'd like to bring before the council this evening?
Do have an announcement.
I do.
Starting next Tuesday, at our Committee of the Whole meeting, we will be live streaming from the Committee of the Whole. So watch us on YouTube.
Okay, beginning next Tuesday, at the committee whole meeting, will be a live stream. Thank
Yes,
you.
I will. Yep.
Okay, very good. Okay, well, let's move to the rest of the department heads. Our city attorney, Mr. Tom Budek, anything you'd like to offer? Thank you. Right, Chris, any announcements you'd like to make? How about you, Sherry Erickson, our finance HR director? Okay. I have a couple announcements I'd like to make. First and foremost, tomorrow, September 11th. What would like everybody to remember, and I'm sure there's been announcements all over the news media about when the Twin Towers were attacked, September 11th, 2001. Sometime during the day tomorrow, please stop, pause, and remember that we live in the United States of America, freest country in the world. We were attacked for our beliefs in humanity on September 11th, 2001, and to remember all those who died for freedom and those first responders who sacrificed their lives and their health to try to save the lives of those people in the Twin Towers. I had a big, long dissertation here, but really bottom line is, peel away the onion, please remember, this is important. This is a freedom. This is about our freedom. It's about the United States of America and us remembering those who died and to protect our freedoms. And if you remember, I'd like you to take a look on the internet or find out, read the lyrics of the Tattered Old Flag. Take a look at that. That reminds you what this United States of America is all about and why people sacrifice their lives and why freedom is such the most precious commodity that we have in this country today. So please take a moment tomorrow to remember September 11, 2001. And then announcement for tomorrow at 7:45 a.m. at the Virginia Fire Hall. The Senate Bonding Committee will be coming up. Senator Senjum and his staff and other bonding senators from our region and outside state will be coming to the Fire Hall to take a look and hear a presentation on our new public safety building. Just want to let you know they'll be there at 7:45. They'll be there for about 45 minutes. We'll give a presentation, a tour, and really advocate for our new public safety building project, which we hope to be included in the bonding bill in 2020. And that's tomorrow morning at 7:45 a.m. And then on September the 18th at 5:30 p.m., on September the 18th, was that a Tuesday? Wednesday, September 18th at 5:30, the House Bonding Committee, led by Representative Mary Murphy from Hermantown, will be up here with the House Bonding Committee to do the very same thing. And we have about an hour to make it, about 30 minutes to make a presentation before the House Bonding Committee too. So both the House and the Senate are coming to Virginia, Minnesota to take a look at this project. The fire department, our staff personnel will be available to make that presentation. So some of the city council members will be there, and the mayor and other staff personnel will be there for that. So we hope to, advocate for this project. And then we have another announcement, really, Lisa Hanover, who is a firefighter paramedic with the Virginia Fire Department, has been, she's went through a couple of trainings, was given and a special award as a graduate from a type of a training program that was picked up by the Wall Street Journal and by Honeywell. So they were there all day today filming the life of a firefighter paramedic in Minnesota, particularly in the city of Virginia. So that's exciting for the city, for her, and the recognition of the services that our firefighter paramedics provide every day. So that was on there for today. So just a reminder, once again, tomorrow, 7:45 a.m., the Senate bonding tour will be, and then on the 18th, which is Wednesday at 5:30, the House bonding tour will be here to talk about this project. So thank you very much. If anybody else doesn't have anything else they want to bring up before the city council meeting, we will adjourn to the next council meeting, which is be Tuesday, September 24th at 5:30 p.m. in the council chambers. Thank you, particularly for the staff for Britt. We went down on Friday to the EPA. We had a big meeting, and thank you for, it's been a really tough week for our staff personnel, really busy. So with the budget and some of these issues we have going on, we can't thank you enough for all your hard work that you do. So thanks again. We stand adjourned till Tuesday, 24th of September at 5:30 p.m. Everybody have a great week and be safe. Stand adjourned.